This is TWiT.
Okay, the first device is the Xiaomi Mi A3. This is an Android One device. It's running a Google-like experience of Android, supported by Google. So you'll see that just turning on the screen with the under-screen fingerprint unlock, you have a pretty much Google launcher and your app drawer, or as Ron would call it, an app drawer.
Hey!
Multitasking is just the same as on a Pixel. It's a Google Experience smartphone that gets regular software updates from Google and Xiaomi almost as fast as a Pixel. And the hardware is interesting. So this is a device with an OLED screen, but it's a 720p OLED screen at 6.2 inches. It has a water drop or teardrop selfie camera module. And under the hood, it's running a Snapdragon 665 chipset with, in this case, 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. The storage is expandable with micro SD. You have to choose between having a single SIM device with micro SD or a dual SIM device. The construction is really solid. It's nice to hold. It's nice to feel. It has an incredible effect, shiny back.
I love that.
Wow.
Look
So
at that.
this
It's like
is-
little lasers.
That's very cool.
Pew, 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 pew.
It's like a sort of waveform effect when you reflect light and refract light off the back. And on the back, you'll see there's a triple camera module at the back because it has a 48 megapixel main sensor. It also has a depth sensor, just a 2 megapixel one, and I believe a 16 megapixel wide angle camera. Let me check. Yes, so that's an 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor. So in the camera department, for a device of its price, it's really, really good. Sadly, that comes with some trade-offs. So in the $150 price
I'll pod
range,
it while you talk about it.
you get a device with plenty of RAM, USB Type-C for charging. The things it doesn't have is, in this case, NFC. So you won't be able to use this for Google Pay or anything
Mobile
else.
Payments, yeah.
The recommended retail price is $250, but if you go on to any of the sites you buy these devices off, it's actually retailing for between $150 and $200. So for a Google Experience Android One device with frequent software and security updates, it's a very good option. Compared to other devices I've recently brought in all about Android, like the Nokia 4.2, you're getting a lot more value in the sense that it is much nicer to hold and look at, and it has a bigger battery, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. So overall, a great experience if you're not needing to have NFC. And yes, there are those who look at it on paper and say it doesn't have a full HD screen, it's not a 1080p screen, but in my personal view, for the price, that 720p screen is perfectly usable, and I don't notice the pixels giving you a negative effect. So that's the shiny Xiaomi Mi A3.
Yeah, that's a nice looking design on the back.
And this is very, very popular in southern European markets like Spain, Italy, and Greece. It has quite an online following, so there's a lot of very enthusiastic people using that smartphone. And overall,
Basically around $200, you're saying, right?
yes, between $150 and $200 in real terms.
Wow.
That's
Recommended
crazy that
retail price is
In those prices,
$250.
you're getting this quality of materials. You know what I mean? Like, this is so cool that we're at that point right now.
Well, other places are at that point.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's even possible.
Yes.
You know, like in
Yet
$150
to really
to $200
benefit
range.
from it in
Totally.
the US of A.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So for a 48 megapixel sensor, it's decent, but as any good photographer, and Eric Clapton will tell you, it's in the way that you use it. It doesn't have optical
Eric.
image stabilization. It does take a bit of being careful with, but for $150, nothing to complain about.
No, not at all. Awesome. That's the Mi A3 Android One. This came out a few months ago, right? Like in
Yes,
July,
this
I think.
came out, it was announced in July. It was just over a month and a half ago I managed to get one imported. It's not official in the UK at this point.
Very nice.
But it is available on online markets.